Welcome to LabTech Agent Deployment Training. The LabTech Agent provides for central remote management. There are 4 ways to install the agent on a remote machine: via login script, group policy, network probe using the deployment push, or manual installation, which is achieved via web access. Here in the navigation tree, left-click to expand clients. Left-click to expand a client. Left-click to expand a location. Double-click on the computer in that location. Here on the Welcome tab, in the Agent Flags section in the upper right, you will need to put a check in the Network Probe checkbox. This is the dialog box to confirm that we want to enable the network probe on this computer. Left-click Yes. Here we have entered the Probe Express setup wizard. We will click Next to go to the next screen. In this table, we have a list of all administrator passwords that have been entered into LabTech to this point. In this drop-down, we're going to specify which administrator password we want to use to attempt to install the LabTech agent via the push. We are also going to specify which template we want to use by default on machines we install the agent on. Click Next. These settings do not pertain to installing the agent via network push, so we can simply click Next, and now we can click Finish. It will take a few moments for the Network Probe checkbox to be checked, which will result in the Network Probe tab showing up on this computer. Click on the Refresh button to get the Network Probe checkbox to be populated, and we now see a Network Probe tab. Left-click on this tab. Here on the left in the Remote Push settings is where we can specify that we want to install the agent via Network Probe and which credentials we want to use. Again, we can have multiple credentials in this list. We're going to select which one we want to use here in this drop-down, which is already selected. And when we put a check in this box, we are literally enabling network installation. And we can save that. What machines is this going to install on? It's going to install on whatever subnet we have populated here. We can specify an additional range by filling in this box and specifying the count here as well. Now we've got 2 ranges on which we are going to automatically attempt to install the agent. And we'll click on Save. After a network probe has been enabled, there is another way to attempt to install the agent using the network probe. In the navigation tree, you can right-click on a client and go to Scripts, System Commands, Deployment, Push LabTech to Domain. That will attempt to install the agent on every machine in that domain. This command can also be run from a location as well. The 2 preceding examples about running a script from the tree or running a script from the Network Probe tab are both dependent on making a machine a network probe. It is recommended that you make only 1 machine per location in LabTech a network probe. It is ideal for that machine to be a machine that is central to the topology of the network, perhaps a domain controller. Now let's look at some other ways to deploy the LabTech agent. As discussed in our previous lesson about web access, you can use this link to download the default agent installer that is going to put the machine in client number 1, location number 1 in your LabTech navigation tree if you use that to install. Additionally, we have the functionality to generate an MSI that is specific to your client and location to facilitate installation via group policy. To do so, select the appropriate client and location in the drop-down. I have selected this one, and I will click Generate MSI Package. That gives us an MSI file that will put the machines in the appropriate client and location when the agent is deployed via group policy. The agent deployment on remote computers is available via the network probe or manual installation using files downloaded from the Web Control Center. The other methods of using a login script or group policy to deploy an agent are determined by the network administrator. This concludes LabTech Agent Deployment Training.